Thank you, Chamber leaders, for the invitation to be a part of the Small Business Award ceremony, and congratulations to all of the winners. Our topic today is adjusting and acting. I'd like to interact with you by asking a few reflection questions. Let's jump right into it. What do you offer as a leader in your workplace? Why is this special? What is the value add? How can you make what you do or what you offer more valuable? What can you do extremely well? If we were together in person, I'd instruct you to turn to someone at your table and to exchange notes. But because we are virtual, after you leave the award ceremony, call up a friend, share your answers, and ask for feedback. 2020 has been the year of a global pandemic and a global civil uprising. I never would have predicted this reality. While rough at times, this is also the year I've observed business leaders like you find solutions and ways to adjust. Some of you have experienced shorter business days, sickness, or just 2020 altogether. It's also been a year of discovery, growth, and action. Organizational leaders are working diligently to change their policies and practices to reflect more inclusion. Educators are learning methods of teaching to train youth to be more empathetic, and these youth are the ones who will one day be sitting in your decision-making shoes. What we need is more grace and more empathy to work together towards a more just society. As business leaders and entrepreneurs, you've changed how you serve clients, how you talk to customers, and how you come to work each day, whether virtual or in person. Keep treading new territory and creating a new normal that works for your company. I've seen and supported community organizations continue to meet during the beginning stages of the shutdown over stalled Zoom video conferences or meeting up for parking lot dates. One mistake I've witnessed from leaders, though, is them wishing to duplicate themselves during the midst of this chaos. None of us should seek to duplicate ourselves because that person would have the same strengths and the same weaknesses. Your goal should be to fill the gaps and to get better. Be a better leader during these unpredictable times by sharpening your services and packaging your systems and your ideas. In the last half of this year, I encourage you to adjust and excel. When you adjust, you've created new ways of doing things by default. We're there right now in this moment. Document this process. Document the changes in your schedule. Write everything that has happened, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then excel. Enhance what you have had before with the new intel, the new information that you found out about yourself, and then find a way to duplicate, sell, scale, and repeat the process. Now, take the answers to the first set of reflection questions and use them to answer these final questions. How have you adjusted, and what skills will you use to adjust some more? What process will you duplicate in your job or within your company? Who do you need to be more empathetic toward? Who do you need to explain your why to? As mentioned before, these are difficult times. 2020 has been an absolute roller coaster ride. With no warning, with no helmet, with no to-dos and instructions on how to get through. And during this time, it's so vital that you are empathetic with the next person. Take this time during a moment where we can move from good to great, where our country can be exactly what it was written to be, a place where everyone can exercise their freedoms, be empathetic, adjust, and excel within the community. We're living in a world where cancel culture is a norm. But quite frankly, we're not extending grace, the grace that we want extended to ourselves. We're not extending it as much as we should be. Yes, I know people should be held accountable. Yes, I know there are things that people do and they're simple mistakes, and sometimes they're huge mistakes. But what if you were on the other end? Would you want someone to counsel you from any and everything that you've ever worked for? Let's be more empathetic. Let's show more grace. Let's learn to live with one another in a way where we're challenging each other, but we're not canceling each other. If we're canceling someone, then that person doesn't have a chance to grow. If someone cancels you, how will you grow? What then will you do to get better? I don't know. But what I do know is that we need to work together toward a more just and equitable society. I know we can do it, and I see an amazing shift happening in our society right now. Here's a new approach. Let's begin to call people in instead of calling people out. We all appreciate when someone takes a little bit of their time to explain what we might have done wrong or to help correct mistakes. I encourage you to call people in, share with them your perspective, share with them how they might can change, things that they can say that's more inviting. Let's call people in. Don't call them out. I was driving in a neighborhood just yesterday, and I saw a sign that said, "Drive as if your children were playing in this yard." So I would like to encourage you to look across your news feed, see what companies are popping up. Think about the companies that are on the chamber website and just in Greensboro, in our area overall, in your area if you're outside of Greensboro, and patronize those businesses. Treat those businesses like you would want someone to treat your business. Leave a review. Plug them in the way that you can based on your network. Support businesses because as businesses grow in our community does as well. I'm Jada Monica Drew with Social Designs Consulting.